Hello everyone, welcome to today's show. We got a great show for you today with big breaking news coming out just a few days ago. We know now that the Michael Cohen, Trump's former personal lawyer, is going to jail, and Trump's defense against Michael Cohen's claims makes absolutely nothing better for him. We will look at that. Trump is also lashing out at Michael Cohen as the fallout from his guilty plea is escalating. Beto O'Rourke is in striking distance for Ted Cruz by only 4 points in the primaries. We take a look at one reporter's racist reaction to the Molly Tibbetts Iowa murder, as well as Betsy DeVos, who's considering letting schools buy guns with federal grants. Oh no, that's disgusting. Trump thrilling white supremacists once again. Duncan Hunter, take a look at his situation. And our final story. Members of Congress are very awful. Take a look at a new poll that confirms exactly that. All right, so now we move on to our big, brave president. He's a big, and like I see a sideways picture of him, and like it's very understated. He hides it well with that suit, but it's very like you don't realize every day how fat he is. Like he's a big boy. Ooh, he's packing a lot in there. Like you know, if you Google like a picture of him. Like he's seeing Fox and Friends. If you like see a like a silhouette of the man, he put on some pounds in the White House. I'm just saying, maybe it's all those Diet Cokes and well-done stinks he can get like on command. But whew, he's a big boy. Yeah, I'm not saying I or everyone else or anyone else is perfect, but he has definitely put some weight on there. Our big president. Our big, great president. Yeah, so our big president he's having a rough time lately. His loyal homie, Paul Manafort, went down hard yesterday. He's going to jail. He's facing possibly 80 years in prison. And this loyal, fake friend, Michael Cohen, pleaded guilty to, among other things, making a legal contribution to a federal campaign at the direction of the candidate for the principal purpose of influencing the 2016 election. That candidate was Donald Trump, obviously. So pretty much what he did was, pretty much what Trump did was he ordered Michael Cohen to pay off Stormy Daniels and Karen McDougal so they wouldn't reveal the affairs that they had. Karen McDougal's case over a year, and I think Stormy Daniels was just like one night stand or something like that. So they just wouldn't. So they pretty much were paid off to reveal that they did not, or to keep quiet about their affairs. Michael Cohen did it, and Trump reimbursed him. And the point was to influence the people's votes so that they would not know the truth. They were pretty much hiding something that was going to come out from the people. It was a payment with intent to influence the election, and that is illegal. Fox News aired a preview on Wednesday of an interview Trump filmed with Fox and Friends, his favorite show on the second favorite channel after the picture of a ham and mayonnaise sandwich channel. In the clip, the president tried to explain these illegal payments, which Cohen has claimed were made at Trump's direction during a 2016 the 2016 campaign to keep these two women from speaking out against alleged affairs with the then candidate. So yeah, that is pretty much what he was. Let's hear his defense. This is on Fox and Friends.
Later on, I knew. Later on. But you have to understand, Ainsley, what he did, and they weren't taken out of campaign finance. That's a big thing. That's a much bigger thing. Did they come out of the campaign? They didn't come out of the campaign.
That's what makes it illegal. Like, you do realize he's like, yeah, that's literally what makes it. There was literally a reporter yesterday who was on Twitter, and he was like, he quote tweeted this tweet where Fox and Friends promotes the interview that I'm playing a sound for you off of, and he's like, that's what makes it a felony, you idiot. Like, he just can't stop walking in at a time. Like, how are his lawyers are either really incompetent or he's so incompetent his lawyers can't control him.
They came from me, and I tweeted about it. You know, I don't know if you know, but I tweeted about the payments, but they didn't come out of campaign. In fact, my first question when I heard about it was, did they come out of the campaign? Because that could be a little dicey. and they didn't come out of the campaign, and that's big. But they weren't. It's not even a campaign violation. If you look at President Obama, he had a massive campaign violation, but he had a different attorney general, and they viewed it a lot different.
That makes absolutely zero sense. Again, what was the campaign violation? And B, like, okay, maybe Obama had a partisan attorney general, probably did. All right, cool. There are partisan attorney generals, but Jeff Sessions is pretty damn partisan to Donald Trump. Like, you don't think Jeff Sessions is going to protect Donald Trump on this? Like, you're out of your mind if you think that. Like, you're stupid. Yeah. So it's like, oh my God, if it came from the campaign, it did not come from the campaign. It's a little bit dicey. Yeah, I don't even know what that was. Yeah, so Trump appears to think that what Cohen did would have been illegal if the money had come from the campaign, but he proudly claimed they didn't. They didn't come out of the campaign. He also said dubiously, it's not even a campaign finance violation. But oh no, that is not okay either. Regardless of where the money came from, if it was done with the intent of influencing a presidential election, like Michael Cohen said it was yesterday, like what he pled guilty to, meaning as part of its campaign, it was as part of his campaign to become president. The payment was done to help Donald J. Trump become president. They would have had to have been disclosed by the campaign in in-kind contribution, which was not disclosed. You can contribute to a campaign by everyone at the campaign office pizza, but for example, that's still an in-kind contribution, the value of which must be closed. Because I bought everyone in Hillary Clinton's campaign a pizza, I gotta submit to the FEC. Like, that's just how we don't have things like this happening. Like, it may sound stupid in that kind of situation, and by the way, that analogy there was from Splinter's Libby Watson, which was a great point there. Kind of gives you the scope of the situation. But you can contribute anything you want to a campaign. It just still needs to be put down. It still needs to be put, like, it's just a small little gift for, like, Hillary. Like, if it was, say you want to be a mensch and you're friends with the guy who films Hillary Clinton's social media videos, and he breaks his cameras. He broke his camera. You go buy him a new camera just to be a good guy. You still got to report it because it's something done to help Hillary Clinton's campaign. It's that simple. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, it's legal for a candidate to loan to their campaign as much money as they like, as Trump did in 2016, but it still has to all be disclosed. All Trump did in this interview was admit that he personally made an undisclosed contribution to his campaign. Nowhere on Trump's FEC report was there a line item for a $130,000 expense described as payment to porn star to not talk about gross old man sex. Yeah, that is pretty much the point. That's pretty much what was going on there. So the key point is Trump's defense for this whole entire situation is stupid. That was a really bad defense, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it comes from your campaign. It doesn't matter if it comes from the blue sky in the air. It still is illegal if it goes to helping you become president. Capiche? Good. Anyway, we now turn to another story regarding this same situation as Trump is continuing now to lash out at Michael Cohen as the fallout from the guilty plea escalates. As the fallout from the longtime Donald Trump attorney and fixer Michael Cohen's decision to plead guilty to a host of financial crimes on Tuesday and to implicate Trump directly in his misdeeds arrived on Wednesday, it was about as crazy as you might expect. Trump tweeted out the first set of responses to Cohen's admission of guilt after conspicuously ignoring it before. Trump goes, if anyone's looking for a good lawyer, I would strongly suggest that you don't retain the services of Michael Cohen. Why'd you do it then for like a decades? You retain the services of Michael Cohen. Doesn't show very good judgment on your part, Mr. President. By the way, quite a zinger there, bud. He also managed to work in a kind of reference to Paul Manafort, the other former member of his inner circle, the campaign chair of his inner circle, who Donald Trump says, and now Alan Dershowitz says, who's so desperate to become one of Donald Trump's lawyers, that he is now embarrassing himself on Fox News on a near daily basis to try to appeal to Trump to get him to come out and hire him for his lawyer team. Like, he's still not doing it. There's nothing happening there. There's nothing happening. And so he's supposed to go every day and say, well, a crime's not a crime. Michael Cohen's going to go to jail for 3 to 6 years. He said Donald Trump is a co-conspirator, but it's no big deal. There should be no investigation coming out of that. Trump's just being mistreated here. Like, come on. Oh, my gosh. Like, the sad fall for a very sad man in Alan Dershowitz. But, yeah, so he did still manage to be supportive, at least to Paul Manafort, who he possibly could pardon. He says, I feel very badly for Paul Manafort and his wonderful family. Justice just took a 12-year-old tax case, among other things, and applied tremendous pressure on him. And unlike Michael Cohen, he refused to break makeup stories in order to get a deal. Such respect for a brave man. Speaking with NPR, Lanny Davis, Cohen's attorney and one-time special counsel for President Bill Clinton, seemed to offer no quarter regarding his client's next steps. He says, all I know is that Michael Cohen never accepted pardon from a man that he considers to be both corrupt and a dangerous person in the Oval Office. Davis said, he continued, he has flatly authorized me to say under no circumstances would he accept a pardon for Trump, who uses the pardon power in a way that no president in American history has ever used a pardon to relieve people of guilt who have committed crimes, who are political cronies of him. Friendship done with Donald Trump. So, like, he flatly authorized me to do this, which, like, just based on this man who, just like last year, was like, I'm going to take a bullet for you, Mr. President. And now he's like, I hate you. You're dangerous. You use your power to pardon political cronies. You're a criminal. And I would never be dirtied by you, even though he's going to go to jail for 3 to 6 years, which is likely longer than Trump's going to go to jail for, if he even does at all, which is very possible he will not go to jail. It just seems so crazy that this entire situation is going on here. So Davis, whose newfound role as the morality police, should be viewed as with a healthy dose of skepticism, given his job helping Bill Clinton, navigate his various presidential indiscretions. Also hinted that Cohen may have had possibly a little bit more tricks up his sleeve in terms of making the president look bad. So there possibly could be more to come. I said on my YouTube channel yesterday, there is a chance that Michael Cohen has more to give, and if he could, that would be very bad. So here he says, if he tells the truth to the special counsel who talks to him, I believe he will, Davis said, he will have topics that, in my opinion, will be of interest to the special counsel in his Russian investigation and related topics. That's Lanny Davis talking, Cohen's lawyer, which is a big deal. It's a huge deal. In a separate interview with the Washington Post, Davis indicated that Cohen had specific information suggesting that Trump knew ahead of time about Russian efforts to hack Hillary Clinton's emails, so which pretty much would be collusion, depending on the nature of those conversations. Like, still, it would be very suspicious if he knew about them and did nothing. It would be really bad if he knew about them and did nothing, but it would be really, 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 really bad if he knew about them, actively encouraged them, or / organized them, and that would pretty much be collusion right there. Manchurian candidate, whatever. Davis has also taken hyping his really creative crowdfunding campaign to raise money for Cohen, which has already racked up $21,000 of its $500,000 goal, despite the fact that Cohen seems to have a net worth somewhere in the vicinity of $100 million, which is pretty crazy. Which is like $100 million. He's estimated to have that net worth, which is like pretty high amount of net worth, which is $100 million is insane to me anyway. All right, so now we turn to our next story. Beto O'Rourke is trailing Ted Cruz by only 4 points for the race for the Texas Senate seat. El Paso Congressman Beto O'Rourke may have a really pretty good chance of defeating incumbent scumbag Ted Cruz in the upcoming midterms. A new poll for NBC News Marist found that O'Rourke's support among registered voters is at 45%, while Cruz is at 49%. 6% of voters responded that they are undecided still. So, interestingly, the number of people who said that they think Democrats should control Congress in the general was lower at 40% than compared to 47% who favored Republicans, suggesting that disappointment may lie specifically with Cruz. The governor's race in Texas also shows Republicans in the lead. Obviously, it's a pretty Republican state. And if they could turn the Senate seat blue, that would be very, very huge.